get used to danger. It's facing him every time he races. It's part of the routine. But there was nothing routine about his actions on September 9th, 1990 at Riverview Raceway in Thunder Bay. That day, the term heat race got redefined.
It was the wrap-up of the stock car season at Riverview Raceways. Time for their annual two-day invitational. Race drivers from different tracks around Canada and the United States had been invited to compete for higher purses than usual. The yearly event always attracted top competitors, and this year was no exception.
I've known Don since when I was a little kid, when I was helping my brother and when he was racing. I ran into Don and got to know him a little bit better. And as I started racing up here, we started getting along a lot better.
Driver, start your engine.
Before the races, I'd come over to his house. We'd work on the cars over there. He'd help me out as much as he could, and I'd help him as much as I could.
The morning before the race, there was 4 drivers, including myself, and a couple of other people. We went out for breakfast and talked about a few different things. Thing I can use to our advantage. After that, we went our different ways and picked up our race cars and headed out to the racetrack.
This last race of the year was a favorite with fans.
I'd like to go out and win every race I'm in. You want to win that race that day, and then you want to win maybe the feature race later on that evening, and then if everything goes well, you want to win the championship. It's the desire to win and to beat all the other guys you're racing with.
There are 3 divisions on the Riverview circuit: the Diamond, the Late Model, and the Modifieds. Donald Kettering started his racing career in Diamond class. Then he ran Late Model for 4 years before deciding to run in the Modified division. He has done very well in Modifieds, becoming a favorite.
This will be the first qualifying heat of the afternoon for the modified stock cars. Winner of this one will start at the pole for the big feature later on in the afternoon. For all the big money here at Riverview this holiday weekend.
Just happened to be Dennis and I were in the same race that day. He was starting on the pole position, and I started just right behind him. The lineup was looking pretty good around turn 2. Down the back straightaway, and probably as I was getting down the back straightaway, the front cars were probably just entering turn 3, so everyone would start to speed up at that point, and just waiting for the green.
They have the flag, and Kettering takes an early lead.
On dirt, the way to get through the corner is quite a bit different. To get through the turns quickest, you have to get the car a little bit sideways going into the turn, and you're actually sideways when you get on the throttle. So it's a little bit different technique than asphalt racing, where you've got to keep the car as straight as possible. And I ended up getting a flat tire, and I had to pull out. I was running second to him at the time.
Oh no, Kettering spun out. Looks like a flat. Bad break for the hometown boy. Jones takes over the lead. He's pushing hard through the turn on the outside. Can he hold it? No. Yes, he's pulling ahead. Dennis Jones takes the flag.
It turned out he ended up winning that race.
Winning this qualifying heat would turn out to be the most important time he ever beat Donald Kettering in a race. The win gave Dennis Jones the outside pole position for the feature, the best starting spot. And it put Donald Kettering behind him in the lineup.
The modifieds are now under the starter's orders for the feature race. On the pole for this one will be the winner of the first heat, Dennis Jones, out of St. Paul, Minnesota. On the outside pole will be number 96, Don Kettering, the local favorite from Thunder Bay.
This was the race that the Modifieds fans were waiting for, the last feature of the season, and good prize money on the line. The race was going fine for about 45 seconds, but coming around the 4th turn, Dennis Jones' transmission suddenly locked up. The fuel cell of Dennis Jones' car was ripped open as he flipped over, and he was pinned underneath. The car was fueled with methanol, and the flames from the fire were virtually invisible. Donald Kettering was still in the race, just behind the crash, and as he came around the fourth turn, he couldn't see the accident in front of him.
Everybody, go back to your seats. Please stay in your seats. There's a fire in that area. Stay away from the fence. Stay away.
The crowds didn't realize the car was on fire, but Donald Kettering did. He could see the waves of heat rising from the wreck.
It scared me. I wanted to get out. I was afraid I was going to burn up inside of there. I didn't know how bad it was or if I was going to be trapped for sure. I knew that my feet got hot. I knew there was fire in the car, but I didn't realize that fire got all the way up to my face and down into my lungs and stuff. I just waited for the ambulance to come, and they hauled me away, and I didn't find out until a couple days later that it was Donnie who had pulled me out.
The car that was upside down in front of me, I could see the number on the side, but I didn't know who it was at the time. The only thing that went through my mind at that time was I had to get him out of there. I didn't think of anything else at the time. I didn't hear anybody else. I just did what had to be done, I guess.
Donald Kettering certainly wasn't thinking of his own safety, or he never would have run up to the burning car. He had no idea that it was his friend Dennis he was trying to save from being burnt to death. He just knew a driver was in trouble, and somebody had to get him out.
At the time, I didn't really think it was anything extra special. My car was damaged, but not to the point where we couldn't race, so we continued on and finished the race.
Dennis Jones was burnt across his shoulders and arms. He had skin grafts and plastic surgery on his neck. If Donald Kettering hadn't acted so quickly, Dennis Jones would have died.
I had a chance to talk to Dennis's wife and his mother. They had come up that night after Dennis was hurt. And that was about the first that I guess I realized that I had done something a little special.
Some real fast work by some of our people down there, especially Don Kettering, to help Dennis Jones out of that burning car. Let's give them all a big hand for a job very well done.
What Don did for me was great. I guess if I was going to expect it from anybody, I would expect it for him, because that's just his nature. If he wouldn't have been there, I don't know if I would be here. I've always gotten along with him, but this brought us a lot closer. Right now, he's my best friend. I'd do anything for him.
Happy Thanksgiving from the Discovery Channel.
I got that all on tape. Did you? Shit. Oh my. Who is it?
You get that on camera? That's Dennis Jones.
Oh my God.